Let's be real for a second. Version updates can feel like trying to solve a murder mystery using only random tweets, blurry clips, and one guy on Reddit who swears his cousin works at Hoyoverse.
Okay.
So today, we're cutting through all of that. No wild speculation, no trust me bro, leaks from 5 patches into the future. This video is strictly about what we already know about version 6.4, what's been shown, shared, or directly referenced. By the end, you'll have a clean, start-to-finish picture of the banners, the new character and how he actually plays, the new boss, events, cosmetics, and new areas, all in one place. No chaos required. And yes, version 6.4 is currently set for February 25th. And what immediately stands out is how focused this update feels. This isn't one of those patches that tries to drop a new region, 3 systems, and a mini game that disappears forever after 2 weeks. Instead, 6.4 feels intentional. One major new character takes center stage, existing content gets expanded visually and narratively, and ongoing story threads move forward. Historically, that's usually a sign of a foundation patch, something meant to strengthen the game rather than overwhelm it, and that's exactly the vibe here. Let's start with what everyone checks first, the banners. The characters currently shown for version 6.4 are Varka, Skirk, Flinss, and Escofier. There's no official phase order yet, no confirmation of who's first half or second half, so it's best to treat this as the full banner pool rather than locking anything in prematurely. This actually lines up with how Hoyoverse usually rolls out banner info. Character reveals come first, phase details come later, so nothing here is out of the ordinary. The real spotlight, though, is obviously Varka, who is the brand new addition and clearly the centerpiece of the patch. He's a 5-star Anemo Claymore, and from everything that's been shown, he's built to stay on the field and deal sustained damage rather than quick swap in and out. His normal attacks follow the standard Claymore rhythm, but his kit really starts to shine when you look at how his skill and burst work together. His elemental skill deals Anemo damage, generates particles, and, importantly, sets up his burst window. The damage numbers shown are noticeably higher than what you'd expect from a utility-focused Anemo character, which immediately puts him in the DPS category. The cooldown also suggests this skill is meant to be woven naturally into rotations, not saved like an emergency button. Where Varka really separates himself, though, is his elemental burst. This is the defining part of his kit. His burst can change its elemental damage type based on the elemental state around him. In the footage we've seen, it can deal damage as Anemo, Pyro, Cryo, Electro, or Hydro. That means he's not locked into one reaction or one element. Instead, he adapts to the team you build around him. The burst lasts for a duration and deals sustained damage, encouraging you to stay on field and fully commit to that window. His scaling is straightforward, ATK based, with no HP, DEF, or EM conversion in sight, which makes his build path refreshingly familiar for players who like traditional DPS characters. This design also pairs very cleanly with his signature 5-star Claymore, Ballad of the Mighty Wolf, which is clearly built to boost burst damage and sustained on-field performance. This is one of those cases where the character and weapon feel intentionally designed together, rather than slapped on at the last minute. One quick rumor cleanup, because this keeps popping up. Varka is not being added to the standard banner. That claim isn't supported by any official or shared information. It mostly comes from people equating not top-tier burst DPS with standard banner energy, which is not how that works. Outside of characters, version 6.4 also introduces a new world boss called the Shining Lunar Gecko. The footage shows a large overworld enemy with its own arena and distinct attack patterns. While we don't have full drop details yet, its presentation strongly matches how new ascension or progression bosses are usually introduced, meaning this isn't a one-off fight. It's meant to become part of regular gameplay. On the event side, 6.4 actually has more going on than it first appears. Based on currently available information, there are 4 events tied to this patch. One is larger and story-driven, while the other 3 are smaller, self-contained activities. The standout event includes an unusually large Mondstadt-focused cast, featuring characters like Varka, Diluch, Venti, Kaya, Lisa, Albedo, Rosaria, Fischl, Mona, Noelle, Bennett, Mika, Barbara, Amber, and several others. That kind of lineup usually signals a heavy emphasis on story, dialogue, and character interaction, missions, rather than just combat challenges. The remaining 3 events have much smaller character lists and appear to focus on investigation-style objectives or simple activities, offering the usual mix of primogems, materials, and event currency. There are also several smaller updates that don't change gameplay, but absolutely improve how the game feels. Ayaka and Ayato are both receiving new running effects, purely visual, but meaningful for characters people use constantly. The Theater of Imaginarium is getting new pose animations for Shinobu, Sigawina, Citlali, Sayu, Emily, Ayaka, Ito, and Ororon. These aren't skins or buffs, but for players who enjoy theater mode or character presentation, this kind of content adds variety without touching balance. We're also getting a new Catalyst cosmetic called Pearl in a Witch's Hat, which is purely visual and has no gameplay impact. Housing and exploration content is also expanding, with a new teapot map, additional assets, and new areas added to Miliastra Wonderland, featuring floating structures and open plazas. There's also an underground area connected to Varka, new voice lines, new cards, and new Miliastra Wonderland skins. None of this is framed as a brand new system. It's all expansion, refinement, and polish. When you zoom out, version 6.4 feels like a patch that knows exactly what it wants to be. It gives combat-focused players a flexible new DPS and a new boss to learn, while players who care more about story, visuals, and long-term polish get festivals, theater updates, cosmetics, and new areas to explore. It's not trying to reinvent the game. It's strengthening what's already there. So I'm curious, what's standing out to you the most? Is it Varka's adaptable burst, the Mondstadt heavy event, or the smaller quality of life and visual updates that quietly keep the game feeling fresh? Let me know in the comments.
Okay.
And if you want more breakdowns like this, clear, grounded, and free from wild speculation, make sure to subscribe, because as more official info drops, I'll keep covering it the same way.